Canadian farmers are in shambles today. I know. We're not usually talking about things like this, but I'm Canadian and I feel the need to deliver the news. PV Mart is a Canadian owned company. Maybe was. They're still operating, but is a Canadian owned company that basically retails in farm equipment. And it has been known as one of Canada's biggest farm equipment suppliers there is. I've read more about the story, and I didn't realize it was actually an Alberta-based company. Their headquarters is actually in Red Deer. But on Thursday last week, they announced that they were closing all of their Ontario stores, and I think it was another one in Manitoba. And yesterday, they announced that they are actually closing more stores. They're actually closing all stores, which is over 90 stores across Canada. And that is not an insignificant amount of stores. That is not an insignificant amount of people without jobs. And I feel for that. But I think that this raises a big question: is the fact that online retail or stores without storefronts are starting to take over. The reason I say this is I have experience on a farm. For those of you that have been part of the channel for quite some time, not even quite some time, since last year, you know I took some extended breaks from the channel because I was working on my friend's farm. And I can count on one hand the number of times I heard the word PV Mart when it came to issues, supplies, whatever that they may needed. That was twice. That was twice. PV Mart used to be a place where they could get literally anything and everything from oil to equipment to clothing to and it still is or was. And legitimately, they said it twice. I know for a fact on my friend's farm, all of their fertilizer, all of their supply, well, not all of their supplies, but all of their fertilizer, their chemicals for spraying weeds, controlling grasshoppers, everything like that was all ordered from a place that doesn't have a storefront. And they could deliver right to the farm location. We're moving to a world where convenience is number one. If you can legitimately not, especially in the middle of where his farmyard is, if you can just legitimately take a small little detour in the middle of seeding so you can sign off on your chemical supplies or your fertilizer supplies and then get right back to work, they're going to do that. It's no longer a one-day trip to go in with a bunch of 1 ton, 3 ton, 5 ton trucks to go get everything they need and then come back in. They're no longer wasting a day of productivity doing that. And I think that this is a bigger indication of that movement. Right now, I'm going to quote it right now. It's actually from the Winnipeg Free Press. And basically, this is coming down from investors and the CEO itself. But basically, what they were saying was the decision to seek creditor protection and close all stores was made after a thorough evaluation of all options in consultation with legal and financial advisors. It goes on further to say the Canadian retail industry is experiencing unprecedented challenges, including record low consumer confidence, inflationary pressures, rising operating costs, and ongoing supply distributions, along with difficult regulatory environments. These factors have created significant obstacles for businesses like PV. We're not about to get political here, but legitimately, it is well known that Canada's economy is not doing well. It costs me an extra 35 to 40% to order something from the States, especially when it comes to my axe building business. If I want to get an axe head online for $140, it's over $200 by the time it gets here. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's with free shipping. So that's one little thing to say. The other part of it to say is that the regulatory part, we have nothing to do with that. That's just governments throwing in, whether it be worker protection rights or hiring things, there's a lot of different factors that go into that, and it's making it a lot more difficult for Canadian businesses, especially with storefronts and on the retail side, to survive. Especially when there's businesses out there that are way less overhead by not having a physical storefront. The prime example was, I believe the place is actually called FBN, it's Farmers Business Network or something like that, where my friend orders all of his stuff from that isn't seed to make his business go. He also says that places that do have a storefront that are convenient for him, they are specialized stores. So PV Mart wasn't really doing a lot of specialized stuff. If a combine part breaks, you can't go to PV Mart, but you'd have to go to Combine World. So it's a little bit more of a specialized part. Things that they were saying, like grease or paint or everything else like that, that they were getting from PV Mart, they were saying that Princess Auto is cheaper. So, I think that it's just hard for one company to have the buying power if it does want to remain a storefront over somebody that is not just strictly a Canadian company. If you're buying more globally, you're going to have more buying power. Your costs are going to be lower. It's just how that works. It is a little bit sad to see another Canadian company, calling it quits on the storefront. It doesn't sound like they're completely giving up as a business in general. It does sound like that there's going to be some sort of retention. It does sound like there's going to be some sort of online factor when it comes to this. But it is still sad to see, especially as an aspiring business owner myself. But again, we're not doing a retail business until the card business gets going, but that's mostly online with no overhead, so I feel confident there. But little does PV Mart know, I'm going to go there because their sales are starting at 10 to 30% off, and I'm going to buy all their clamps so I can do more axe handles, so I can build more axes, build more YouTube, and just go buy their building and run my axe throwing venue out of there. That's the plan. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Just a little thing that's slightly concerning, more than concerning, when it comes to a Canadian retail business, because this could possibly affect more than just the workers at PV Mart. This could affect farmers that don't have access to other stuff, but that's mostly changing. That's kind of why PV Mart is going the way of the dodo bird. And hopefully this doesn't affect things like our food pricing even more than it already has, because there are things that are even out of our control that are affecting that, and we're spiraling out of control. Canada's bad, but hopefully that changes soon. This is not meant to be a political post. This is just covering the news on a business that is unfortunately becoming a victim of what we're seeing is possibly the future. Convenience is the future, and we can't really blame anybody for that. So, yeah, there's that. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.